Hi everyone, welcome to NX7DX videos. We are working on a Bluetooth headset, which is basically Blue Parrot BXI Blue Parrot Bluetooth. Issue I've been having is sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's just because the connections I can hear on my speaker and people they cannot hear me when I'm talking. So decide to figure it out, open it up and see how did this thing work. Alright, just be patient and hopefully we got a plenty light over there to make sure you guys can, every one of you can see this very nice and clear. Okay, first thing what we're gonna do is we need one of these, the very fine 5-point tips on it in order to open it up. This Bluetooth right there from this side. Right over there at the top there's one screw right there. There's a screw, so we're gonna need to remove that one. So we just go in, open it up, be gently, don't strip the screw, get him out and make sure you put him in a safe area where you're not gonna lose it because they are very, very tiny. Okay, we're gonna put it right in there. Okay, next step. What we're gonna do is basically there's just one screw in there. Well, we gotta remove this one here. Next thing, what we gotta do, just pop along the line with the small screwdriver. Let's see if we can get a little more fine one. Okay, that's a more fine screwdriver, flat screwdriver. Gonna pop between that little crack over there. Don't be afraid, just pop it out, just break through. You're gonna hear a little popping in there, and they do what it is this one has some little clips holding that little cap. I'll show you in a minute. So we're gonna pop this one out. It's pretty solid. Screw, get two, let's use the little fine one. Okay, that's better. Alright, when you start popping in, don't go to the top because at the top has a little retain in there, so we gotta go towards the bottom and keep popping him, force it open basically. I'm gonna keep forcing him. They do have some little clips in there which is hold it tight. Okay, where did this go? Using my glasses because I can hardly. Okay, there we go. We just popping it all the way around. Open it up. I'll show you in a minute exactly what's holding this side of this Bluetooth. Okay, here's what's going on. Alright, be careful with these little parts. I'll show you where that one goes. Alright, see these little clips? Hopefully you can see it. Put an extra light here. Those little clips right there, right here, right here. You got a few clips all the way around, which basically they're holding the top section with the bottom, and just force them in and click. Those are the little clicks. And this one here is the one I was mentioning to be careful not to force it to the top, because this one engage into that little clip over there like this. If you go towards the top, you're gonna break it, and then you're gonna roll that part in there. It has just also this little tip here, which is basically supposed to be sitting down here, right there like that. So don't miss it. Don't lose this one. They're very tiny. And this one here is basically the little tips which will let you control your Bluetooth volume up and down, and to turn it on and all that. So that just comes out. Put them on the side, and put all this too on the side. Okay, now next step just gonna be basically to remove the foam for the earphone, and next step is gonna be basically, we got one screw right over there. I don't know if you can see, or if it's too bright, the light. Yeah, the light is too bright. Anyway, we point it out. Got one screw down here, and that's the only screw you gotta remove in order to remove this board. This and this, it comes together. So what you're gonna do, remove this screw out of here, and use the screwdriver to pop this little this other part here, which is basically, I think it's just, this is just like the memory. I don't know exactly was this, maybe just no idea, being honest. Let's see what it say. All right, this is part of the board in order to basically choose all different stuff what the Bluetooth can do, and what kind of connections it can do, and how it can communicate and all that. So you got those ones, and these little buttons, they are the one which you can use to turn on and off, and select whatever many things what your Bluetooth can do on it. You can select. These are the ones which they've been pushed by this one here. So hopefully we can see what exactly is going on here with no light. Okay, anyway, so next step, okay, what I'm trying to figure out here, what's going on, why my Bluetooth is not working right. And so we can see the board right there. I think it's too bright. Oops. Let me see. That's better. We can see the board right over there, and we can see the one on the top. All those come up on one piece. Right here where I got my finger here pointing, there's the little screw over there. That's basically the one you gotta remove, that little tiny screw in there. And what I'm checking down here, let me see if that's gonna help much better, not to be too bright. There we go. right over here, I think the light's too bright. Right there, there's a little screw. All these ones, they're gonna come out one piece right here. In this area here, there's a connection, which is basically the connections plugged in with this one here. No, this is the one which is basically for the speaker, for the microphone here, and the speakers. So we don't have to remove this part here. All this is gonna come up just in one piece. All right, I quit talking and let's get back to work. Let's go back to work here. We're gonna do is remove a little tiny screw out of there. And make sure we don't lose the screw. Now, next step is this is gonna come out. Okay, right over there. This is being engaged. Here's the plug where you charge your Bluetooth. Has a little space in there where you gotta push them out of that little socket. It's gonna come out, and make sure you don't break the board or do any damage to those connections in there. Okay, now that one is out. Next step, what we're gonna do is basically to pop the next one from the bottom. Click from the side, on the side and left. That's gonna come out. So now we got the board which is being unhooked, and we got this connection here in the back. Let's see if got a double. This must have some tape behind. That's just one screw over there, and this board. Okay, yeah, this board is being supported. Gotta slide down the board here, slide it forward because it's being held by that little clip in there, just to keep it. We don't want to force it. And alright, let's just be careful. Gotta push that little clip back. Like that is gonna release the board. Let me do it with my fingers. Make sure I don't do any damage to it. There we go. Okay, what it is, this little clip here is holding the board down. So you just gotta push. This little clip. You just gotta push it back. Push it back, and then it's gonna release the board. Plus, also the board has glue in the back side. Just glue it down here. You gotta force it out a little bit. Alright, next step here is you gotta look into those connections. Remember, the issue is my audio, my signal, sorry about that, my voice basically cuts off, and sometimes people cannot hear me and I am not able to hear them. So we know there is a loose connection somewhere, or maybe a broken wire. So that right over there, here we got two wires there, so we can always just push them in, make sure there's a good connection on that one there, and also on these two wires here, make sure they are push them in and they're not being, there's no any damage on those wires. All right, we're gonna go step by step just to make sure those wires, they are not being damaged. They look like they're in good shape. And also you gotta look into the bore to see if the bore doesn't have any burns, any dark spots on it. Let me see, there we go. Make sure the bore doesn't have any dark spot inside. Gotta look very careful, because if it does has a little dark spot on the bore, it's because you gotta short it out somehow. Okay, so being said that, so let's go and turn this thing, this Bluetooth board around, and we can look into some more, if we can have some more issues in there in the back side. And it doesn't look like there is anything. I do have some magnifying glasses, magnify glass to look into, and there's nothing burned. Everything looks fine. Alright, we're gonna do another little tiny test here. Gonna start moving those wires. Okay, you got 4 wires over there. I'm gonna move the wires to see if they are basically connected. Visually, doesn't look like there's anything, but if we go and tap into each one of those wires, we can see if they are connected, really connected or not, and they are connected. There's something here very unusual. That's basically some glue they put in order to hold the wires on that spot. Okay, we don't see anything down here, anything out on this other side. Connections, they looks pretty solid. All right. Well, they looks fine from both sides. Let's use our magnifying glass to see if we do have anything more up there. Nope. Nope. Looks very clean. Look like this board look very nice and clean. Okay, we don't see no issues down here on the board or on this other one here, on the one on the top. This one at the top doesn't seem like there's no issue either, and the board itself Look like there's no issue also. Hopefully I got plenty light here. Look like it's got not enough light on it. Anyway, yeah, that's better. Okay, no issues on both sides of the board, and no issues on wires on both sides of on the top and the bottom boards. So now our next step is gonna be going towards the speaker. Gonna look to see what's going on with the speaker and the microphone. Right, got a little piece of cotton down here. Doing this thing, holding the wires in place. Gonna remove that, and we do have, hopefully you guys can see what's going on here. Okay, right here we got two screws in there. Behind this board there are two little screws holding the microphone and holding that speaker. You gotta remove those two screws from there. Okay, I don't know if you can see those ones, but let's see if I can show you. Got those two shiny things in there. I think it's too bright, the light. I don't know how it's gonna look on camera, but those two shiny, which is this one and this one here, two screws. We gotta remove those ones in order to access the speaker and the wires from the microphone.
When I was a little girl, I grew up on the streets.
Okay.
It was a tough life.
My name is Mona Dixon, and this is my story.
I lived with my single mom, but we really didn't have a place to call home. We stayed in all kinds of different places. My mom was gone.
Make sure we don't lose those little
wherever
tiny
she could
screws.
to earn a little money.
They're very, very small.
I was on my own.
Gotta be very careful.
I was lonely and never really felt safe. But then I found the Boys and Girls Club, and my life changed forever. I felt a sense of belonging and acceptance.
As I was saying.
I felt safe, made friends,
Got it.
and wasn't lonely anymore. I had help with my homework and healthy food to eat, and mentors to help me make the right choices. I went to college, and now I'm working on my
Okay, next step here.
Boys and Girls Club helped me believe in myself and my dream of a better future.
This. Okay, this part on the Bluetooth has like a little sort of gears for the Bluetooth to go back and forth. So this is basically
There are so many more children.
That's basically the way it looked like. But before we do that, we gotta open up. We gotta remove. We need to remove. I should have done that earlier before I removed those screws out of there. We gotta remove this little cap up here, which is protecting the speakers on it. It has some little clips in there. I'm gonna have to pop those little speakers. Those little clips. Kind of little hard, but we can do it. And there's one. You just go from the bottom and lift, push them in and lift, and they do come out. Got 4 of them. Go at the bottom and lift, and comes up. Okay, put them on the side here. There goes the speaker, and we got all the parts in here. Be gently, because we got the wire hanging over there with the bore. Okay, down here there's a system where the speakers basically, it does sit. This one here, the microphone, it goes up and down, up and down. So you gotta be very careful when you put it back, to put it back exactly on the same position, and it's gonna be engaging on some of the little gears. It has some gears inside there. I don't know if you can see it, not from the back, from the front side. Hopefully you can see it, and got some gears. So that's how this microphone basically roll up and down, back and forth on it. So now next thing what we gotta do, this thing, it won't come up apart from there. So basically what we're gonna do is, alright, this got 2 wires here. Let's see, let me back off a little bit more. Okay, we got 2 set of wires here. We got a white wire and you got 2 red wires. The 2 red wires, they're basically for the speaker, positive and negative, and the white wires, they're for the microphone. On that, inside the white wire, you got two wires, okay, which they go to the board. So that's basically it. So we're gonna inspect those wires to make sure they're not being cut and there's no any damage to it on it, just to make sure why this is cutting out. It's not working the way it's supposed to be working properly. As I mentioned before, we do have some of these gears. Hopefully you can see it more clear right there. Oops, right over there. That's more focus. There we go. Got some of those gears inside there. And those are the wires we gotta inspect, make sure they're not damaged or anything. To try to figure out why this is cutting out. Okay, being said that, let's go and inspect the wires. Make sure there's no damage into it. Okay, look like pretty solid connection in there on the white wire, which is the one goes to the speaker. And let's see, yeah, I think there we go. The one which goes to the speaker, white wire, goes to the board. You got 2 wires from the white one, at the top and the bottom. Right over there, got 2 wires, 2 and 2, 4 wires. And we're looking at it. I just don't see any problem here. With the Y wire, no. Let's look a little more deeper inside the microphone. See if we can find any cuts, any broken wire. Nope. Nope. Okay. There's no broken wire on this item. And there are not broken in there either. Everything looks fine. Now, next step is gonna be going to the speaker connections. Gotta be patient because we cannot take this apart. Okay, look like the speakers has a good connection. Those are the speakers on it. Look like they do have a really good connection on it. Speaker looks like in good shape, no damage or anything. Okay, so wow, so what could be the problem here? And the only thing what we could think about it, where the problem it could be, is probably maybe inside here, or it could be on the board. See those connections over there? They look like they do have a good connection on it. But exactly how do we know if they do? They really do. They're not kind of little just sitting there without sitting on the board. Look like they got a good connection, but not exactly, maybe they don't. So what we're gonna do here, basically, is gonna be to assure ourselves that those connections, they're pretty well sorted. Same thing as the connections with the mic, with the speaker. So next step is gonna be for me to do. Okay, find the right angle on the speaker. They really look like it's a good connection. Doesn't look nothing faulty in there. Nope. Nope. Oops. Let's look again at the board. Yeah, something. Just don't look like it got any issues in there. Anyway, but being said that, we're just gonna give a little tap on the soldering on the connections, just to make sure those connections, they are 100% good on the speakers and on the board. Just gotta be very careful to what you're doing, because they are very sensitive. All what you want to do is just touch, warm it up, and make sure those wires, they're basically, they reattach. Once you warm it up, it's gonna melt a little bit and it's gonna go deeper into the wire. Just gotta deal with the tip and those wires. They, if there's anything loose in there, they will reattach to the soldering, to the solder. Okay, got that one there. Now we're gonna go to the board. With the board, gotta be very, very careful. We have to, they are very small, and the only part on the board which you're gonna touch is basically where the wire has the soldering connection on it. You're just gonna touch it, warm it up like that. The wire is gonna reinforce. It's gonna melt a little bit and reinforce into attachment on the wire. Try not to touch anything out on the board. You touch anything out on the board, you're gonna create like a bridge, or you're gonna destroy something out. So you gotta be very, very careful what you do with it. So you just barely touch with the tip, very gently. Let it warm up. Let it warm up and reattach. Touch gently. Let it warm up and we'll reattach. Let it warm up and you run. All what you're doing is just when it warms up, it goes melt a little more deeper into the wire, and that's to reaffirm. Even the wire look like it's being attached to it. It's attached to it. It will reinforce the connection on it. Okay. Now we're gonna have to just reverse the connection on the Bluetooth, put it back together over there the way we took it off, and see if how it's gonna work. By the way, I had two of this Bluetooth. I fixed one already. The same situation what I'm doing here. On my other one, I did fix it. It's working 100%. So this one also look like it's a similar situation. Just the little connections up here on the board and connections on the speaker to reinforce that everything out. It looks like it's doing good. So the other one is working, so this one is gonna go back to work normal like it used to be. And remember this this Peric, blue Peric, they cost about $120 a piece, each one of them. They're not cheap. They're a little expensive, and I don't give them a good quality. The rating as a good quality, because it's been almost once a year I've been buying one. last couple of years, and almost every year I buy one. So I decide to take it apart and fix those two and save $240. Put it on my pocket. Alright, I just gonna put it back on. Put it back. Well, let me go real quick because it's gonna be a long video. Let me stop right here and do another the continuation for putting it back. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something.